Good morning, everyone. I wanted to start today out by going into a little bit more depth about a few videos that we've posted lately about a rental property that was just acquired. You may have seen some of those, how we find a renter. You might have seen some of the pictures that we put up of the property. But I wanted to go into a little bit more depth. And the reason is because I think there's more deals like this that are going to be coming about. And I want you to be aware of this. And I want you to, if you see one or you recognize one, to jump on it. So let me just start by giving you a few of the background of this property. These gentlemen needed to move very quickly out of state. They got a job transfer. They had only owned the property for about 2.5 years. They built the property, so everything is new. And they had a very attractive mortgage on the property at 3.5%. So when I came in, I talked to them about a subject to, about taking over their mortgage, about making those payments every single month. What that allowed me to do is get into the property with little money out of my pocket. I literally had to come up with about $12,000 for closing costs and transfer taxes and the things that cost us to buy houses here in this area. But immediately after that, now they walked away with absolutely nothing. They were motivated to get out of there. They didn't want to come out of pocket with realtor fees and monies that they needed to sell the property. So they were actually happy with the deal. They gave me approximately about 5 years in order to do this subject to deal. And I'll tell you what happens at the end of that. So we basically bought this year a few weeks ago. And I wanted to go through the numbers with you real quickly, see how attractive these deals are. So I just mentioned I literally got into the property for about $12,000. We immediately went into the property and we didn't have to do a whole lot of work. Basically, we had to do some painting, and we took it from a very dark blue to a lighter color. We also did a little bit of see that blue there. We also did a little bit of landscape work, get some trees out, cleared some brush and so forth, and made the property very nice. But literally, we probably only had to spend like about $2,000 in painting and about $1,200 with some clearing. So roughly about $3,200. So let's say we have about $15,000 in the property. Then we went ahead and advertised it for rent. Now I could advertise it for $3,000. All right, for rent. And this last few days, I got a very good qualified candidate. Her profile is perfect. She's coming back from the Midwest. She's coming back to spend more time with her grandchildren. She wanted a single level, very nice house. She plans on something in the future. So her lease is a year with the option to extend it as needed. And my guess is she'll probably be there 2 years, because it takes a while to identify a lot, to identify a builder, go through the process to actually build a home. So tenants usually have a picture on how long that's going to take, and then us as landlords. But basically, she's paying $3,000 a month. And now the mortgage that I took over, the mortgage that I took subject to, all right, has a cost of about $2,250. That's everything. That's principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. So we're literally generating about let's say about a $700, $750 positive cash flow. Plus, I'm getting $700 every single month reduction of principal. Think about that. So every month I'm getting $700 reduction of principal and a $700 positive cash flow. So roughly $1,400. So literally we'll have our initial investment back in our pocket within a year. Now, what happens after 5 years? Well, after 5 years, again, the going to be paid down $700 a month. Our hope is the value grows. Now, again, not all real estate goes up. We know that. Our market is actually a little bit of flat and maybe even retreating a little bit. But I get that principal reduction. And I also walked into this house with roughly $60,000 to $70,000 of pure equity. So at the time 5 years comes along, I have a couple options. I could turn around and sell the house, maybe do a tax-free exchange into another property, or during this time, I could look for a refinance, and I could get ready for a refinance in about 4.5 years to get ready to pay that mortgage off. And I could keep this property longer term, just depending on the market, depending where I am in my investment journey. And we'll make that decision later. But right now, we literally took over this house, hundreds of thousands of dollars of financing with a stroke of a pen. We're paying that mortgage every single month. And also one key thing to remember, and again, I don't have a ton of time to go through this, but whenever you do a subject to a quiet assumption, the one thing you want to do is you want to make sure, obviously, that payment's made every single month. You also want to go get your own insurance policy. So if that house, anything happened to that house, tree fell on it, we had a fire, whatever the case may be, the original policy holders insurance policy will not pay that claim. Yours will. And the reason we keep theirs on that property is because we don't want to trigger any kind of acceleration of payment of that mortgage. So that's a little bit extra cost. On this particular property, my landlord possibly ran me about $1,200. So that's a $200 added. I'm sorry, that's $100 added expense that you're going to have on this property. But boy, who wouldn't pay $100 a month to take over hundreds of thousands of dollars that you don't have to qualify? So let me wrap this up. This is a great opportunity to take advantage of some of these houses that are going to be out there. And when you come across some of these houses, make sure that you have a good understanding that you can do subject to loans. You can create equity, you can create principal pay down, and you can also create some cash flow. So again, I hope this helps. If I can help you in any way, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening to this explanation of this property. We're on to bigger and better things. Keep investing and let me know if there's anything I can do to help you out.